This is Team GB Game Breakers here, bringing you another deck profile with Elemental Heroes, Hero Alive, really, what the deck is. So, let's begin. I played this deck on Regionals, and I got 11th place out of 200 people in Arizona, so, let's begin. So, we'll start out with the Stratos. It's obvious, it's the searcher of the deck, obviously. It's broken as hell. We have our 3 aliases. And to go with the 3 alias, we have the 3 Elemental Boatman. Card's so broken. And I'll talk about this later, how broken that card is. And then probably the MVP, one of the MVPs of the deck is Gawain. The actual promo we got this last sneak peek. It's really good. It combos perfectly with the alias because it's a normal monster in the field when it's summoned. And it just gets your bigger armor, your blade armor plays, and your Excalibur plays. And mainly this deck is an OTK deck, so I'll explain more as I go. So for spells, instead of 2 Super Poly, I decided to play 3 at Regionals. And people were like, why are you playing 3? Because this card's freaking broken as hell because it makes or break the game. And the reason why I play 3, it makes your Bubble Man way more live. Even if you draw 2 in the beginning game and draw a third one dead and have a hero, whatever. This card's freaking good. After that, we have our 3 Miracles. That's staple, obviously, because it's a Miracle feature. It's fucking broken, too. We have our 3 MST, because it's an OTK deck, we need no back row. Yep. With consistency, the Pot of Duality. I really don't like this card, but since this deck is really inconsistent in a lot of ways, this card just helps beginning plays and stuff, so. The best card in the deck, in my opinion. Halving your life points to summon a Stratos to get a Bubble Man or whatever you need is the best thing in this deck. This card wins so many games. And I wish I played it last format when it was at 3. It was way too good. We learned about this card way too late, I think, last format. So, with that, you have your E-Calls. 2 E-Calls, because they got limited, and the deck only needs 2, I feel like, so. And for the single cards, we have our Rhoda to search the Gawain, or the Bowman, or whatever you need. This is such a good top deck. That's the thing with these cards. It's such a good top deck. Even the Hero Loves is a good top deck when you have no cards in hand, because you get the Bowman, and he's special. It's freaking broken. It's really good. We have the Monster Reborn, the Heavy, the Dark Hole. Staples. So, this gets ODK. These, if you seriously draw these in a Stratos, you win the game. That's it. It's unfair how good those cards in this deck. The 1 Book of Moon to stop anything you need because Book of Moon's Book of Moon. And for that last spot where that last Pot of Duality was, I put a Night Beam. And this card's really good. It won me at Regionals at least like 2 games because I was playing Mirror Match. And he said, I had 5 cards and I drew a Pot of Duality off the 6. And I was like, okay. I drew Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality, I had a Solemn Judgment, Solemn Judgment Compulse, and a Night Beam. I picked the Night Beam because I knew he was playing Gemini Beat or whatever deck that plays back row. And what happened is he set 3 next turn and I just Night Beamed his Gemini Spark and spaced his Torrential and Mirror Force. It was way too good and I got the game. So for traps, I run 2 Compulse. This card is way better than Warning in my opinion in this format because Super Polys are around and Exceeds are all over the place. It's like the Synchro format where if you didn't have Warning, this card's just the best thing because also I pay too much life in this deck for the Hero and stuff. We play the 2 Torrentials because it's really good. I like this card at 2. People don't really like it in this deck because they say it's going to kill you or you lose your big monster, but that's okay. Bubble Man got your back. He's way too fucking good in this deck. And with that, you have the 2 Mirror Force because it's 2 Mirror Force. We haven't had 2 Mirror Forces ever. I don't even know. I haven't even played when Mirror Force came out or anything, but since I've been playing, it goes at 1, so it's freaking good. Thanks, Konami, for that, for stopping the OTK shit. And take a choice for my Regionals was Trapzone. Don't get me wrong, Shockmaster's freaking good, but this card's 10 times better than Shockmaster because this gets your OTK out. Because what stops you mainly are traps, and that's what really kills this deck, is traps. And so when I was thinking, when I was test playing, like, should I play Royal Decree or Trap Stunts? But then that means I couldn't run my other traps to play Royal Decree. And this won me like 3 games because I was playing against I played 1 game against Wind-Ups and Heroes. Mainly Heroes and Wind-Ups this card works against. Like, not Dark, and Dark World too, because Dark World's probably the worst match for the deck. They need to stop that Reckless Greed. And for the last card, Solemn Judgment, because it cuts you in half, and it's not as big of a cost since you're already cutting yourself in half already. So that's the main deck. So then we have our extra deck where we have a Heroic Champion Excalibur. He's freaking good. Blade Armor Ninja. This is your OTK, obviously, so that's it. You have that Butterfly to get those annoying set cards to make that monster attack 0, whatever it is. You know, a Marshmallow, it don't matter. This thing gets through it, so. Push-all. Then we have Utopia, the staple. Menstro, because he's good. And for extra deck, we have 2 Shinings, because it's okay. And by the way, this is a budget build. I made this, I had like all the foils and everything. I just wanted to make it budget, so this is the cheap version of the deck. So you have the 2 zeros, because zeros busted when you're in the top deck like a mofo. Then you have your Nova Master, your Great Tornado, Gaia, and a Screwdown.
Hey, they're all different elements.
Yep. And then for 14, I play Dragonite because Samurais are running around at our locals at least. So Samurais and whatever Synchros, you know. For my 15th spot, I haven't really decided if I want to play Shockmaster. I really don't want to put the money towards it or anything because this deck already doesn't need it. I might put it towards another Blade Armor because there's only 14 in the extra. And for side deck, I have, like, it's all preference. So play 2 bottomless just for the match of the mirror match or whatever needs to get bottomless. So usually, like, it's kind of weird because at regionals, one of the Dino Rabbits topped. I don't know, like, yeah, but it's stupid. Other than that, we have D-Fissure. It stops a lot of other decks. Starts Dark World, one of the worst matchups in the game right now, for me at least, is the Dark World and Chaos Dragon. They actually lost to a Chaos Dragon. I won off a technicality, but felt bad, but it's okay. You know, it happens if you play damage cards. And I play 2 Deep Prison for the mirror match and whatever I need, you know, whatever calls for that, I guess. 2 Maxi for the wind-ups and the Samurais. Like, I rarely say this in because what happened is at regionals I lost my game 3 against wind-ups because they played D-Fissure and I couldn't throw these in the grave and I drew a freaking Crow right after and it was just really bad. And then so I Crows in just because I hate Dark Worlds and it's extra hate for every deck that needs Graveyard, so. Kinetic Soldier. I had a real problem with this card. Like, it was okay. The thing is, with every side card you put in, it slows your deck down. It's unfortunate, but it does. But it's okay. You still can get off your plays. I play 2 Snowman here for that random-ass whatever deck. Usually it's probably going to be bunnies, so Dino Rabbits, so this is good to play against them, I guess. And then we have the 1 Thunder King because I don't know what to put for extra. Like, Thunder King's okay this format. Like, he stopped me once in a while, but usually I just drew a Super Poly when he was hit the field, like, against me. And then, it was funny, this one matchup, like, my first game, I was playing against Wind-Ups, and he summoned the Cobra, and he couldn't get over the Thunder King, and he didn't want to attack me directly because he couldn't Cobra Search. And so I just beat him down with the Thunder King each turn. It was just really good. Other than that, like, going back to the Bubble Man and the Super Polys, right? This deck, for some reason, at least when I play, I always get a Bubble Man off, no matter what. I force this to happen. Like, I don't minus myself so it happens. These usually minus me to make it happen. And that's the reason why I play 3 of them, because, like, even if you, like, we're top decking, like, especially in a top decking situation, and they're top decking, because usually what happens is you simplify the game so fast, it doesn't matter, because you're playing 3 MST and whatever. You simplify the game way too fast, and it's just way too good. And the thing about like, if you're playing a match where there's no back row, Super Poly is just probably the best answer, because your MSTs are dead, you might as well throw them away for a Super Poly instead of a monster. Usually you throw a monster away for the Super Poly, because it combos, obviously, with a Miracle. And usually it happens all the time. But usually, Bubble Man is probably the best card in the deck, in my opinion, is the best card. Because he's the best draw you can ever get in this deck. Even if you pot a duality him, you normal him, you can get a Super Poly or whatever, you need Miracle Fusion. It don't even matter. As long as you get that 2, you can get back what you lost to Super Poly. No matter what. Even if you can get 2 off or 3. Because one game I got all 3 off. And the guy was like, that was nuts. And I'm like, he's like, how do you do it? And I just dropped my hand for everything. Even if you heavy storm me, even if you do anything, Bubble Man will always get your back. He's too good. And Super Poly, in my opinion, should be at 1. So, other than that, that's my deck profile. GB Game Breakers. My friend Kyle has a YouTube called Formulafied. He's really good at doing opening tins and stuff. He's really good at that stuff. He really likes. He plays Chaos Dragons. He has deck profiles up and everything. I will leave a link below in description below. Okay.